I went from working in a coffee shop like this to earning over $100 million in my online business. But what if I told you that along the way I dealt with depression, anxiety, and even had thoughts of suicide? So here are 5 things that no one wants to tell you about what it takes to build a business.
Joining us is my man, Keala Kanae.
Keala Kanae, he takes entrepreneurs on a journey to grow their business.
Number 1, success is not convenient. It is not going to fit conveniently into your budget, and it's not going to fit conveniently into your calendar.
So why isn't this business skyrocketing to the moon? I don't get it. Anyways, time to go to the movies, to the bar, and then watch some Netflix.
When you want to get to that next level, that inherently means becoming a completely different person. And it's our challenges that change us. That's more than just a cliche saying. It's going to feel like it is asking more of you than you feel that you can possibly give at that time, whether that's in the form of money or in the form of hours. The business needs what the business needs. The business doesn't take holidays, it doesn't have vacations, and it has absolutely no emotions. It doesn't care if you feel like you need time off, you need to recharge. It's your daughter's dance recital or there's a soccer game that you promised that you wouldn't miss. When the business needs what it needs, it is going to demand it regardless of whether or not you're prepared to give it. I can't tell you how many times I thought I was taking the weekend off and then got some sort of a phone call or a text message along the way that let me know that there was a fire in the business that needed my attention at that time. Whether it was an ad account going down, whether it was, data that was coming in from our sales team that was predicting a bad month and possibly a loss for the month. Whether it was, websites or our servers going down and all sorts of things that have happened at the most inconvenient times. Now, the good news is that this really depends on the magnitude of scale that you want to get to. You're going to face different challenges getting to 6 figures than the person who wants to get to 7, than the person who wants to get to 8, than the person who wants to get to multi-8 or 9 or 10 figures, so on and so forth. Now, the good news is that the challenges are not going to scale incrementally to your income. That means in order for you to do $10 million a year doesn't mean that you're going to have to work 10 times harder than the person doing $1 million a year. In fact, oftentimes it can get easier. Keep in mind that construction goes hand in hand with destruction. Sometimes you got to destroy what is to become what's possible. It's in those moments that it's going to feel like it's asking the most of you. So you can't be emotionally attached to thinking that, I'm going to build a business and I'm going to have all this free time and I'm going to have complete dominion and dictatorship over my calendar and my schedule. No, that's not necessarily the case. Now, with all of that said, last year I took 4 months off and my business grew by 121%. And at the same time though, in that 4 months, there were times that I had to jump on a Zoom call or get on a meeting or have a conversation with somebody that wasn't necessarily convenient for me in that 4 months off, but it's the price that I'm willing to pay at the time in order to be able to step back from my business and watch it continue to grow without me. So what I would ultimately say is that all of the risk, all of the pain, all of the frustration, it's going to be worth it in the end. But don't delude yourself into thinking that it's going to be unicorns and rainbows every step of the way. Number 2, everybody has advice. You're going to be surprised at how many people want to come out of the woodwork and tell you what you ought to be doing in your business, how you should be creating your products, how you should be treating your customers, how to handle the sales process, how you should be managing your money, so on and so forth.
What's that you say? Invest all my money in Dogecoin? Hire a monkey to be my assistant? Blow all my funds on the blackjack table at the casino? Sounds like sound advice. Thanks, Mom.
A few years back, I went back home to Hawaii to visit for a little while, and I ran into my old manager. We ended up going out to dinner together. And at one point, she was telling me, hey, Keala, with your goals, you should really step these things back and really, kind of take it more one step at a time. And I remember thinking to myself at the time, my business is doing $20 million a year, and you barely managed a coffee shop. I'm not quite sure that we're solving the same problems in life. Now, I'm not saying that to be rude. I'm saying it because there are people who are going to want to give you advice that have not been to where it is that you want to go. They have absolutely no frame of reference, and you're going to have to learn how to block that out. Number 3, you're going to be broke for a while. Get used to it. Lots of folks start a business thinking that I'm going to start my business, quit my job, and be rich. And that's really not the way that it works. When I first started out as an affiliate marketer and I was just John Wayne solopreneur doing things all by myself, yeah, I did pretty well. I had $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, and $50,000 months. And whatever of that was not going into ad spend, the rest of it was all profit. And I treated all of that profit like it was a paycheck. And it was fun at the time.
What are you talking about? I can't put that amount of money in ad spend. I need it for the bar. The liquor ain't gonna buy itself, you know? I just bought a flat screen TV for my shower. I can't hire someone right now.
But the moment that I decided to build a real enterprise business, meaning that I had employees and staff and infrastructure and all this other overhead, things changed in what felt like almost overnight. I remember sitting back at one point and realizing that I had multiple people on my team earning $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000 a month. And at that time, I was only paying myself $5,000 a month. The business was doing 7 figures a month in revenue, and I was living as if I was broke so I could continue to invest back into the business. Lots of businesses fail because there's too many piggies at the trough. And when everything is eaten up, there's nothing left to feed the business and get it to the next level. So you might be one of those entrepreneurs that has to work your day job while you build your side hustle. Think about your day job as your daytime investor, and you're taking that investment capital, investing it into your side hustle, until it can replace your daytime investor. Don't think that you're gonna somehow start a business, get rich, and be rolling in cash like Scrooge McDuck. Instead, embrace that there's gonna be short-term pain for long-term gain. Entrepreneurs are willing to make the sacrifices that most people won't so they can live a life that most people can't. And I can tell you in the long run, it's gonna be worth it. Number 4, you're gonna need a mentor. You know, my first 12 years as a wannabe entrepreneur, I failed miserably. And it wasn't from a lack of trying. I tried all sorts of things over that 12 years. And then all of a sudden, I had this epiphany in 2012. And within just a few months, I quit my job at that coffee shop, had my first 5-figure month, and haven't had to look back since. So what's the difference between that 12 years of failure and a few months that led to quick success? The difference was when I realized the value of investing in coaching and mentoring. For those first 12 years, I had multiple opportunities to do so, but I kept fooling myself into thinking that, I don't want to pay for that. I'll figure it out on my own. When we don't pay the price of having a mentor, we pay the prices of not having one instead. If you don't want to pay the price of success, you pay the prices of failure by default.
Drats, all this dang Google searching, I'm a day late and $1 short. I can't pay for a mentor. It's not worth the money when I got Google at my fingertips.
So those 12 years, I convinced myself that I don't really want to do that. I'll figure it out on my own. And think about that mentality for just a moment. Most people want to save money and spend time instead. But let's break this down and think about this critically for a moment. How much money can you earn in your life? What's the limit? Well, there really isn't one. It's kind of infinite, right? But how much time do you have in your life? Well, that's definitely finite, and none of us know how much we have. So why is it that we will try to save this thing that's infinite, that comes and goes out of our bank account, but spend the thing that once we spend it, we will never get it back? It's the only thing in our life that is for sure going to be finite. Think about that for a moment. And when I realized that I've been approaching my life all wrong. It was smarter to invest money and save time, energy, pain, frustration, anguish, overwhelm, and banging my head against the wall because I didn't know how to get to where it was that I wanted to be in life. A mentor is somebody that has been to where it is that you want to go. They can save you the time, energy, and effort of getting there because you get to learn from their lessons. In other words, you are learning at a steep discount. When you have the opportunity to invest in a mentor, take it. Number 5, you're gonna wanna quit. In fact, you're probably gonna wanna quit a lot. In fact, the bigger that your goals are, the more often you're gonna feel like quitting.
It's been a week and I'm not a billionaire yet. Well, time to pack it up, boys. I spent thousands of ads and nobody seems to want my patent pending bathtub toaster.
At one point, I had a CFO that took out $1 million loan in my name without me knowing. I had a CTO that quit at the first sign of trouble and left me with 9 developers on my team, burning through $130,000 a month of our revenue and no idea how to manage them. I was stabbed in the back by people that I thought were my really, really good friends. And I haven't met a single entrepreneur that's done anything significant in their business that hasn't also had to deal with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, betrayal, and a host of other things that would make any rational person want to quit. Embrace the fact that you are going to experience this inevitably in your evolution as an entrepreneur. And when you go through these inevitable moments, here's some advice. Shrink your time horizons. When things are starting to look ugly, scary, or dirty, we start to think, oh my God, how long is this going to go on? We think about weeks and months of stress, when in reality, shrinking your time horizon is the most important thing that you can do. It's just about getting from one moment to the next, from one day to the next, and having faith that you are going to gonna come out the other side. And the person that you're gonna meet on the other side is going to astound you. I am grateful for all of those challenges that I've been through because they made me who I am today. And I embrace the fact that in order for me to get to the next level that I wanna get to in my business, I'm gonna likely have to face challenges that were even bigger than that. That's okay. It comes with the territory. The sooner that you embrace the idea that you're gonna come to these moments where you wanna quit, and that's a natural part of the evolution of an entrepreneur, the more likely you are to be able to stick with it long enough to come out the other side. And I promise you, it's gonna be worth it. So listen, I hope you got value out of this video. And in case we've never met before, my name is Keala Kanae. I'm an entrepreneur that went from working in a coffee shop like this to earning over $100 million in my online business. And now comes the shameless plug where I ask you to subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you get notified every week when I drop more videos like this. And make sure you watch that next video in the lineup. We're gonna talk more about business strategies and success.